Picture this for a moment. It's Monday morning. You open your laptop, check your portfolio, and suddenly, a sea of red. Stocks are down 8%, your crypto is melting, the news channels are screaming about the end of the bull market. Most people feel their stomach twist, their heart race. Some hit the panic sell button instantly, others freeze, hoping things magically turn around. But a small group of investors sees the same chaos and smiles. They don't panic, they don't freeze, they act with clarity. Why? Because for them, this isn't a disaster. It's a problem to solve. And solving problems is a skill, a trainable, learnable skill. But here's the shocking part. Almost nobody in the investment world actually trains it. People study charts, memorize formulas, follow the news, but they don't practice how to think under pressure. That is what today's lesson is about. How training yourself in problem solving can completely transform your investing game, turning stress into strategy, fear into focus, and uncertainty into opportunity. Think about it. Every single investment decision is a problem disguised as a choice. Should I buy or wait? Should I hold or sell? Should I diversify or double down? Most people don't even recognize what the real problem is. They think the problem is the falling price of their stock. But the deeper problem might be, I don't have a clear strategy for downturns. This is why training is crucial. Problem solving isn't just reacting, it's diagnosing. Like a doctor, you don't treat the symptom, you find the root cause. Imagine two investors facing the same drop in the market. Investor A panics and sells everything at a loss. Investor B calmly analyzes. What's the real cause? Is it short-term panic or a fundamental shift? What options exist? What's the probability of each outcome? Investor B is not smarter. He's not luckier. He's simply trained. He treats uncertainty as a puzzle, not a disaster. That mindset shift alone, seeing problems as puzzles, can mean the difference between losing half your portfolio and doubling it. So how do we actually do this? Here's a step-by-step process you can start applying today. Step 1. Define the real problem. Ask yourself, what exactly am I solving? A stock drops 15%. The surface problem is that the price fell. The real problem is, I don't know if this drop is noise or a long-term trend. Step 2. Gather facts. Detach from emotions. Look at data. Earnings reports, macroeconomic signals, interest rates, global events. Think of this step as removing the fog from your windshield. Step 3. Generate multiple solutions. Too many investors think there are only two options, buy or sell. Wrong. You can hold, rebalance, hedge, buy in stages, write options, or diversify into alternatives. Options mean control. Step 4. Weigh outcomes. This is where clarity wins. Ask yourself, if I choose this path, what's the upside? What's the worst-case scenario? What's most likely? Suddenly, your decision isn't a gamble. It's a calculated choice. Step 5. Take decisive action. The market punishes hesitation. Once you've done the thinking, you need to move. Action creates feedback, and feedback creates growth. Step 6. Review and adapt. Every decision is a teacher. The investor who reviews mistakes grows stronger. The one who ignores them repeats the cycle. Now let's get real for a second. Think about the last time you made a financial decision you regretted. Maybe you sold too early. Maybe you held too long. Maybe you didn't act at all. That sinking feeling you had? That's not failure. That's a lack of training. Problem-solving training is what turns regret into resilience. It doesn't just make you better with money, it makes you calmer, sharper, more confident. And if this is resonating with you, take a second and hit subscribe. Here at Investor School, we go deep into strategies like this every week. No hype, no fluff, just the mindset and tools you need to think like a professional investor. Let's bring this to life with some stories. Case 1. The 2020 crash. When the pandemic hit, fear dominated. The market lost over 30% in weeks. Most people sold at the bottom, but some investors stopped, analyzed, and asked, is this temporary panic or a permanent collapse? They gathered facts, central banks printing trillions, governments stimulating economies, companies pivoting online. Their analysis said, recovery is likely. They held. Some bought more. The result? By the end of 2021, many had doubled or tripled their portfolios. Case 2. A real estate challenge in London. Rising interest rates scared landlords. One investor faced losing cash flow on her properties. Instead of panicking, she applied structured problem solving. She listed options: sell, refinance, adjust rents, or add complementary income streams. After weighing, she chose to refinance with creative terms, then optimized her rental strategy. Instead of losing her properties, she grew stronger. Case 3. Crypto volatility in New York. A young trader hated Bitcoin swings. Every 10% move drove him crazy. His real problem wasn't Bitcoin, it was his lack of rules. After training, he reframed. I need a system. He set dollar cost averaging points, capped his exposure, and stopped checking prices daily. Now, volatility doesn't own him, he owns his strategy. These aren't extraordinary geniuses. They're people who learn to treat problems as puzzles, not panic buttons. Here's what most people miss. Problem-solving training isn't just about money. It builds what I call decision-making resilience. You stop being reactive. You stop fearing uncertainty. You start acting from clarity, not chaos. And this spills over into every corner of life. In business negotiations, you break issues into parts and find leverage. In career choices, you weigh options with logic instead of fear. In personal life, you handle challenges with calm instead of crisis. That is why the wealthiest and most successful people on Earth, from Buffett to Musk to Bezos, are elite problem solvers. They don't chase certainty. They create clarity in the middle of uncertainty. And that's exactly what the markets reward. So the next time you face uncertainty in the markets, pause, breathe. Remember this. You don't need to predict the future. You only need to solve today's problem with clarity, courage, and strategy. Wealth doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from hype. It comes from mastering the mental game, and that game is problem solving. Here at Investor School, we believe clarity creates opportunity. So keep watching, keep learning, and most of all, keep solving problems. Because the stronger your problem-solving skills, the brighter your financial future will be.